Welcome to Promo Insiders, the ASI Media podcast for the issues that matter most to the promotional products industry, from hard-hitting news to fun trends and analysis. I'm Teresa Hegel, Executive Editor of Digital Content, and today I'm joined by Roderick Diamond and Mark Lucevero, our two editorial department interns this summer. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So basically, whenever we have interns every summer, I kind of like to get their impressions on the promotional products industry because it's a unique industry and a lot of people have never heard of it until they're kind of thrust into it. But also to kind of make it more fun, since we're all still working remotely and the three of us are in three different states. I'm in Pennsylvania, Roderick's in Georgia, and Mark is in New Jersey. So I thought it would be fun to kind of share some regional foods and kind of incorporate a taste test element into this. So we're going to go through a couple of questions to talk about like their entry into the promotional industry. But as you guys are listening, please feel free to share your own stories of joining the industry. I love to hear how people kind of fall into this or learn about promotional products. So in the comments, share your questions, your comments. Maybe even tell us about some regional foods that you guys love, because it's always fun to hear about. Here we call them hoagies, other places call them subs, grinders, whatever. So I did have a hoagie for lunch because I went to Wawa. But I love to hear everybody's like stories about how they joined the industry and fun foods from your region. So let's start out, and you guys can just kind of introduce yourselves. Tell me about where you went to school and what you're studying. So let's start with Rod.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Roderick Diamond II. I'm a native of Mobile, Alabama. As Teresa said, I'm currently interning with ASI via Georgia. I'm in Atlanta. Undergraduate, I went to Morehouse College, got my bachelor's in history, and went on to get my master's at Northwestern University in Chicago in journalism. And now I'm here at ASI as an editorial intern, and yeah.
It's all good so far. How about you, Mark?
Hi, everyone. My name is Mark Lucevero, and I am from Randolph, New Jersey. That's where I am right now. And I am going to be a senior at Quinnipiac University in the fall, and I'm a journalism major and a political science minor.
Awesome. So obviously, you guys have been with us for a little while now. I guess it's been about 2 months, maybe. So before you started this internship, what did each of you know about the promotional products industry at all? Had you ever heard of it before, or is it totally new when you were coming into it? We'll start with, how about Mark? You can start this time.
So I had heard like the term promotional products, but I didn't really know what really went into promotional products. And something that I really quickly learned is that there are so many promotional products. Almost anything can be a promotional product, and that was something that I did not know at all coming into this. So I've learned so much throughout this experience so far, and from something just like simple like that to a lot more of the complicated terms and stuff I've gotten to figure out.
Awesome. How about you, Rod?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Mark there. Like, I've heard the word promotional products, and it sounds complex, but when you break it down, promotion, that's kind of the big gist of it. But it was a whole completely new industry to me, and thus far I've learned a lot. And just looking at things we use every day, like that could be a promotional product. Looking at the packaging of this food we're about to eat, I'm like, that's probably a promo product as well. So it's definitely opened my eyes to a lot and gave me a whole wealth of information of companies, industries, and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us think about, I guess, it's obvious you go to the bank and they give you a pen. Okay, that's like a very simple thing. But when you join the industry, you're like, oh, I didn't realize it could be brownies. It could be frisbees. It could be like there's so many. It's clothing. There's like it basically encompasses like anything you could put some kind of logo or branding onto. So it's such a broad industry, which I think is nice because when you guys are interns, we can try to kind of tailor the internship to things that you're already interested in. Like, so you're learning something new, but if you're into sports, for example, like there's plenty of like promo products in sports, so you can incorporate that into your internship. If you like fashion, t-shirts and fashion and apparel, that's a huge part of the industry too. So there's something I think for everybody because promo products are for everybody. So it just makes sense that we can find something that's going to interest you. So since you guys have started, what would you say is the coolest thing you've learned about the promo industry or the coolest promotional product you've seen so far? And we'll start with you, Rod.
Ooh, that's a I think it's kind of hard because it's so much stuff. I think marketing test is an assignment we had doing descriptions for the showcases. It's so many different things we had to describe and write about, and sometimes I know at least for me, I kind of got lost. I'm like, this is really a product, and people are selling this. I think it's just cool. I think the coolest part is how diverse it is and how many products that's that they use. I guess an example for a cool product, I think I like the cooling towels that you can be used for as it's well into summer and it's probably some of the highest temperatures anybody has seen. So a cooling towel that can lower your body temperature 10 degrees and you can decorate how you want to for any function or event. I think that's probably the coolest promo product I've seen thus far.
Coolest, literally, right?
Yes. No pun intended.
How about you, Mark?
So I would say similar to Rod in that I was impressed with the diversity of how many products there are, but also with how big in general the industry is. For a lot of the assignments that I've been completing over the summer, you send me a list of suppliers and distributors from all over the country. And I've never heard of any of them. And then you start talking to these people and they all have a unique story to tell about their individual products. So for me, I was kind of taken aback by how big the industry really is. And as Rod was saying with those product showcases, going through and talking about some of these different suppliers and distributors, all of them are completely different. So it's been really cool to see how big of an industry this really is, but also how much of it, like a team atmosphere all of us have working with each other.
Yeah, and I think that's great because it is an industry that sort of operates under the radar because a lot of people in the industry don't, like their clients don't want people to know where they're getting their stuff. So, it is behind the scenes, but they have their hands in so much, like basically every different kind of industry you can think of. So far, what would you say is the most unexpected or strangest thing you've learned during your internship? And we can start with you, Rod.
I think the strangest thing, or maybe the weirdest thing, I definitely taken aback at how much money goes into the promotional products industry. Definitely with the SOI, the state of the industry piece you guys do every year. See how much money and how it breaks down by state, and seeing what states what states draw to which promotional products. I think it was interesting seeing kind of how the characteristics of how we interact, especially how regional things are. Just like we're going to this food, different places kind of gravitate to different things depending on the location, geography, and like that. So.
Yeah. I mean, like we're one country, but there's so many variations state by state, just in everything. Well, how about you, Mark? What's the weirdest or most unusual, unexpected thing that you've learned so far?
I would say instead of the variation per state, the variation of each product. So going through and talking about some of the products that that we've been working with and that I've been writing about throughout the summer, you learn that there are like 50 different ways to write about a cup with a logo on it. And that to me, it's really interesting because each of these suppliers and distributors are talking about their cup, about why it's the best. And there's so many of those that you read and that you come across, and to me that's something very interesting and cool that I've learned while being in this industry.
Yeah, that's so true. That you think of a cup as just being a cup, but there's so much more to it than that. Does it keep the liquid cool? Does it keep it warm? Is it like how big is it? What colors? Does it change color? Like there's so many different things that most people don't even think about, but a cup is so much more than just a cup. So obviously you guys have a couple more weeks with us, but then you'll be going off either back to school or kind of into the real world or whatever your next steps are. But do you think in the future you're going to be looking at promotional products in a different way? Like how is this going to change your perspective in the future? Mark, you can start.
Absolutely. My perception of what promotional products are has even changed now. Whenever I go out and I see things, I'm like, oh, like that's a promotional product. And like my friends don't know what I'm talking about. And it's fun for me. And I know now going into stepping back into college and seeing things, especially at my university with what they do on like tours and stuff, the little freebies that they give out. I'm like, that's a promotional product. Like I get it. So I definitely will notice that change once this internship is over.
Okay. How about you, Rod?
Definitely I will be looking at promotional products and anything I see in my everyday life differently. Just thinking about their purpose, what they're trying to promote, who are they trying to promote. And definitely when it comes to me, comes to planning events to help them with that, now I kind of have a resource to actually find this stuff to help facilitate events, do giveaways. I know cool stuff people might like now.
Right. You've kind of made some connections now that could help you with what you do in the future. I mean, yeah, it's definitely like a professional hazard. I think that anywhere I go, I look at, what promotional products there are or what things are in the gift shop, and is it good? Is it bad? Oh, who made that? Is there an ASI number on there somewhere? I mean, I can't stop myself. I think my friends and family, they do laugh at me a little bit, but I mean, it's just, you're going to do it. I think you're going to do it. Even like if you're long gone from ASI, I think you'll still be, looking at these items and thinking, hey, I might have interviewed this person before, the person who made this. So it's definitely kind of an eye-opening experience. So I think we kind of exhausted like talking about our entry into promo, but people who are listening, if you guys have stories of how you joined the industry, please chime in the comments. We would love to hear it. But now we're going to go into the food portion. As I mentioned before, I'm in the greater Philadelphia region, so I call a long sandwich a hoagie. What do you guys call it?
Just a sandwich.
What? Not even a sub?
It's
just a sandwich.
It's just a sandwich for, hey, you want to go get sandwiches? Like that's what we say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all right. What do you guys call it, Rod?
Just sandwiches, like yeah, just sandwiches.
I'm shocked. So if you go to Subway, what do you just order a sandwich there?
Well, I would get it on like a sub roll is what I would say, or like an Italian roll, but like we don't call it a hoagie.
Oh my gosh.
It's a sandwich.
All right, well this whole live has been ruined. So it's over. It's all over. All right, how about this? What about soda or pop?
Soda.
Okay, good. So now I lived in Ohio for a few years and they call it pop there. And I really rebelled against that. But how about in the South you guys called it Coke? I thought everything was Coke.
Yeah, it was Coke, but it's weird. It's generally soda, but we say Coke, but it's different products. But yes, regionally we do say Coke. Do you want what kind of Coke you want?
All right. I was like, I guess like, with social media and the internet, maybe like it's kind of breaking down some of these distinctions regionally because we're all so connected. But anyway, so because I'm, like a Philly area girl, a little bit, I'm about an hour away from Philly, but I'm definitely a big fan of Wawa. Oh, you can see my little Wawa cup. I brought some coffee. So that's my first food to share is it's actually a latte, but everyone in this area, we love our Wawa coffee and hoagies and all that stuff. So.
Well, yeah. So in my town, actually, last year we got a Wawa that opened up, and I'm in North Jersey, and this is as far north as Wawa has come so far.
Oh my goodness!
And I personally have not been there because I'm usually not in town much when I'm at school, but I've heard great things, and it's packed all the time. Yeah, people love Wawa because especially it's a big thing down the Jersey Shore.
Yeah,
I know there's a Wawa in every corner.
Oh,
so it's kind of cool to see it be coming up here. I personally have not tried it yet. I know I will because it's in my town, but it is a very popular addition to my town now.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I did so it's in northern New Jersey now. I know that my brother and sister-in-law live down in Virginia, and there are Wawas down there, but that's about as far as I've seen them go. You guys don't have any Wawas down in Georgia, right? Or Alabama?
Nope, nowhere near. I think the first Wawa I came in contact with, I was interning in DC one summer. So or Maryland, I think. Yeah, I was living in Maryland.
Okay.
But I was interning in DC. But that's the closest. And my cousin told me like, yes, Wawa, that's the place. I was like, okay.
I love Wawa. I'm a big Wawa aficionado. So okay, well, so that was my first food. It was just Wawa coffee. That's like a big Philadelphia region thing. I mean, if you watched what is that show on HBO, Mayor of Easttown? It's like always you got to have the Wawa coffee.
I watched the show. It's a good show.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, okay, Mark, what did you bring? What is one of your regional foods?
Right.
Okay. I think I may have went a bit overboard.
Okay.
I got fried ribs. Some people call it chicken on fried ribs.
Oh.
So literally just deep fried ribs, and people can make a joke saying like everybody in the South loves the. If we can think about deep frying, and they will. And I've heard some weird things being deep fried.
Deep
But
fried ribs. I've never seen deep fried ribs, but
yeah,
they
I
look
mean,
good.
it's just like chicken, but just fried all the way instead of grilled and baked. And now I used a like some people call it Alabama white barbecue sauce. Um, so it's delicious, and I think it has a different mayo base to it.
Okay.
But it's real good, and it's not as I guess a good tangy feel towards it compared to regular barbecue sauce.
Okay. So where did you get those from?
Excuse me.
I'm just asking you when your mouth is full. It's fine.
It's okay. It's this place in Atlanta called Fox Brothers Barbecue. It's
Okay.
good, delicious. So, but
Okay.
most barbecue places might have fried ribs. I know back home in Alabama, there's this place I used to go to after school that had fried rib tips. So basically, small fried ribs, and they used to be like 2 plates for $5. Come with 2 things of toast and a thing of sauce. Best after school meal ever. So.
Okay. Well, that's a pro tip. I'm gonna have to. I've never had fried ribs before. I didn't even know that was a thing, so I'll have to try that. All right, Mark. What is your first regional food?
Okay, so I have 3 total, and 2 of them go together. So I'll start with the one that does not go together.
Okay.
And something that New Jersey is known for are tomatoes, which is it's a little thing that New Jersey is known for. But this tomato specifically was grown in our extensive backyard garden that my mom and I started. But we got them from a local farm, and they are just starting to turn red now, and we are
Mhm.
going to have dozens over the next few weeks. And it's a little tomato, and it always tastes better when you grow it. So that's
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it's funny because, of course, New Jersey is the Garden State, which I think is something that a lot of people forget because, we think of Jersey as like the shore or, I don't know, highways getting to New York or Philly or something. You know what I mean? Like I think a lot of people forget how much farmland there actually is in New Jersey. And like oh, it's the Garden State, sure, whatever. But yes, there are gardens and there is farming there.
there's a lot, and even not just tomatoes. I know New Jersey is great for cranberries, and then our corn is very good, but it's not quite corn season. We're getting into that,
Mhm.
but there are a lot of things that are always grown locally, and we have a bunch of farmer markets and stuff nearby,
Yeah.
and it's always fun.
And how was the tomato? Was it tasty?
It was tasty. It was very tasty. Yes.
Awesome. All right, so I will do my next. Actually, since you mentioned something tasty, I will go to tasty cakes.
Oh yes.
I love tasty cakes, and that's like a Philly area thing. Um, Personally, I think these are some of my favorites. Not everyone. I like. They have like the crimpets, which are kind of like the sponge cake with like the vanilla icing, and then the candy cakes that are chocolate with like peanut butter and a little cake. And these ones are just like the chocolate cupcakes, no filling. They're very classic. I like them. I know people like my husband. He's more of a Hostess guy, being from Ohio. I think Hostess is disgusting. I would never eat a Twinkie. I think Twinkies are terrible. But if there's tasty cakes, I love them. And the other weird thing about my tasty cake thing is, so we always had them as a kid, and we always kept the crimpets in the freezer. I don't know why. So, like, I love a frozen crimpet. I love to eat that. I like to eat it right out of the freezer, so it's still like it's like cold and like a little harder. And for some reason, I like that. And I've heard other people like this too. So it's not just a weird thing in my family. I've heard other people are into like frozen tasty cakes. This is my little chocolate cupcake.
I
Okay.
can say that in like freshman year of high school, I had a huge tasty cake phase. And like every day, like one of my snacks for lunch would be tasty cakes. And hasn't come back. It was just like a 1 year phase, but like
Yeah.
it was a great phase.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing though. They used to be better. When I was a kid, I think they were bought out by someone later, so they don't taste like they did when I was little, but they're still good and they're still better than Hostess. So, or Little Debbie or any of those other snack cake brands. I'm sorry, the tasty cakes are the best.
Oh man, not Little Debbie. I had to bring Little Debbie. She does nothing to nobody.
I'm sorry, but I'm anti Little Debbie.
Oh,
She's on my naughty list.
oh wow, yes, that's a good transition to mine. Is there any other like kind of treats like that that the Philly area or the Upper Coast likes?
I mean, I really think like the tasty cakes are the huge thing. I mean, of course, pretzels is the other. Of course, cheesesteaks. I wasn't going to bring a cheesesteak on camera. That was not happening. Like I said, I had the hoagie, and I wasn't going to save the hoagie either because that's way too messy to eat on camera. Like I had to pick and choose things that were not going to be like too difficult to eat. Oh, water ice. That's right. Melissa says water ice. That's it. The funniest thing. I thought that was so weird of like water ice. It seems kind of like an oxymoron. Like water is water, ice is ice, but water ice is like Rita's. That's a huge thing.
So that's funny that Melissa said that. So of course everybody goes to college. You meet people from different places and you discuss, like you asked the soda pop question.
Mm-hmm.
People had a lot of debate about water ice because we used to have water ice trucks when we had events on campus, and people would be like, isn't that a slushy? Is that an icy? Everybody's like, no, it's water ice.
That's water ice.
Slushy. No, it's water ice. A slushy. So it's things like that. It made me think about that when Melissa said water ice.
All right, who wants to go next? Who has another food to try?
I can go again since we are going to little tasty, savory, sweet type of stuff. This is a childhood friend of mine, a moon pie. These started in Tennessee, and these are part of my childhood because not only outside New Orleans, Mobile celebrates Mardi Gras, and these are some of the main things thrown during parades.
Oh, really? People throw them?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I've been hit with boxes of these my adolescence with moon pies, but
I guess that's one of the things you don't mind being hit by moon pie because then
it's kind of like think of it as violent grocery shopping. People throw food at you, you have to catch it and put it in the bag, and when it's over, you go home.
Okay.
But they have different flavors. I know this is banana. I like banana flavor stuff. Banana is my favorite fruit. Just a little side.
Okay.
But they have chocolate. They have a caramel one and like a peach flavor one. Those are some.
So it's basically, so what is a moon pie is basically what, like a cake with like icing in the middle, or what is like the consistency?
Yes, I guess I can open it and kind of break it apart. And I always like to tell people when I bring up Mardi Gras, is that Mobile started the American celebration of Mardi Gras. New Orleans wasn't first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because technically the city of Mobile is older than New Orleans, so they celebrated earlier. And camera. So this is how it kind of looks on the inside. So and things like that. We celebrated first, and because we was under French rule before we even got to Louisiana, things like that. So I like to drop that on people sometimes.
Okay, that's really interesting. I did not know that, so I'm glad to have learned that little nugget of info. And it looks tasty. All right, so let's see, Mark. You said you have your next one like goes together, right?
It does. So, being from New Jersey, there are a bunch of different things, and one of the things you always hear about is Taylor ham.
Oh yes, okay, yes.
And it very important that it is Taylor ham. It is not pork roll. It is Taylor ham.
Is there a difference between the two? Is that the same thing, or?
And it is just a. Sorry, can you say that again?
I said, is there a difference between Taylor ham and pork roll, or is that the same thing? You just call it by a different name.
It is the same thing, but it varies on the region you're from in New Jersey.
Okay.
If you're from North Jersey, then it's Taylor ham. If you're from South Jersey, then it's pork roll. And pretty much it's the same thing. It's salty, it tastes great, and it goes great on something else that New Jersey is known for, and that is a breakfast sandwich, which is especially good with our bagels. Our bagels are notoriously bigger than anywhere else in the country.
So would you say you guys have better bagels than New York?
I mean, I'm biased, but yes, of course.
Okay. All right.
And it is just it's a favorite of mine. Breakfast is one of my favorite meals. And there's a bagel shop in town called Alpha Bagels, and they have just enormous bagels compared to your normal size. So I definitely can say I'm spoiled with that. Whenever I'm at school and I go and get a bagel, I'm like, what is this? Like, it's really disappointing. But it's great being home and being able to have a breakfast sandwich with Taylor ham on it.
Taylor ham and a real bagel.
Absolutely. It's great.
Okay. Awesome. Yes, I've heard the Taylor ham pork roll debate before. I'm trying to think where Nate is, what he calls it, but I've already forgotten. I'm sure if he were here, he would pipe in and let us know. We'll have to ask him at our next meeting. So the only other thing that I brought was pretzels, Utz pretzels, which I believe they're, let's see, Utz is in Hanover, PA. I think that, you know, of course, and like the thing I always remember is like going on like field trips to like Philadelphia, and you just get like those giant like soft pretzels from some guy selling them on the street. And as my one friend always said, like they have to have that kind of like that car gasoline kind of smell and taste to them that really makes it authentic and delicious. But we also have a lot of companies that make just like the hard pretzels. They're all over with at specials. Sarah's on the chat. Yeah, so these are the special extra dark pretzels. So it's going to be crunchy. I'm going to crunch. Hopefully nobody's going to like be annoyed by my crunchy noises. But yeah, it's good. This is a good one.
Pretzels are delicious, and I see how people can hate pretzels.
Mm-hmm. I do love a good soft pretzel for sure. But the hard ones are also a big Pennsylvania thing.
Mm-hmm.
Dipped in Philly cream cheese. Oh yeah, that sounds good too. Philly cream cheese, of course. I should have brought that too. But yeah, I feel like the Philly area has a lot of good things, foods that it's known for. So let's see okay, so Mark, you are out of foods, but Rod, you still have some left, right? What else did you bring?
I'm out as well. I was trying to bring a dessert. I couldn't find any kind of unique ones. Some out the box outside of like peach cobbler. I would have bought some banana pudding. I love banana pudding. But I learned that there's this thing called peach pudding, so that would have been different. I was looking high and low for it, and I think if I was going to bring it, I should have got it while I was in Tennessee. I was in Memphis past week.
Oh, nice.
That's where it came from. So I was like, how convenient.
Yeah, right. But it isn't. There are so many different types of foods in the region that places are known for, and it's really cool when you can actually go there and try them in that spot. It is funny to me to go to, I don't know, another state and what they think of Philly hoagie is a cheesesteak or Philly cheesesteak. It's something totally like wrong. Like not I feel like, and I don't even like cheesesteaks that much, but some of the ones I've seen in other states are very questionable, and I don't know what they were thinking when they made them, because it has nothing to do with anything in Philadelphia. But what do you like? How about, do you guys find, like when you go other places, are there regional foods that you see that they're like just not getting right? Like how about like pizza, for instance? Like Jersey has really good pizza, right? Jersey, like as our colleague Nate always talks about, he always talks about like the pizza belt where pizza is really good, and then if you stray out of that, you can get some pizza that's very disturbing.
Yeah, so I'm very lucky to be surrounded by great pizza, not only at home in New Jersey, but also at school in the New Haven area, which is some of the best pizza. I personally am a Frank Pepe's guy. For anyone who knows New Haven pizza, I think that is the best pizza. But definitely when you stray outside of that, whether to the south or even sometimes up north in New England. I was in Massachusetts a few weekends ago for one of my friend's birthdays, and we had some pizza, and it was just not good. And they're like, wow, like this is our place. This is so good. I'm like, how can you eat this and be happy after it?
How can you eat this and be happy after? That's the point. Like, how can you be happy? You can eat it, but are you going to be happy afterwards? No.
Yeah, no, but like I enjoy like eating it and being like, wow, like this is really good. You want to go back for more. So definitely with pizza, and then also with breakfast sandwiches. As I said before, like I go out in Connecticut and get a breakfast sandwich, and it's just so disappointing.
What is pizza like in the South?
Uh, ooh, this is very general. It's very general, but I will say I did get to experience one of the pizza hubs in Chicago when I was there for grad school. Um, Tried the deep dish. It was different. It was a different experience. How much cheese and how thick it was. That was a different experience for me. It was interesting, and I kind of got. I'll say I got going on regular. Kind of got turned off by pizza because now people are trying to add everything to it. When I first heard the pineapple, I guess pizza craze, I'm like, what? Why?
I actually like it, but yeah, it is definitely a weird type of pizza.
And
I actually
ironically,
like it. I don't mind it either. Which is
Yeah.
people can say what they want, but I don't mind it.
so how about this? Would you try seafood pizza?
Oh yes. Oh my gosh, love it.
That was my friend had. We was in Memphis. My friend had. We was at a little brunch spot, and I think they served brunch all day. And we got there kind of late around 2, 3 o'clock. And you're like, "Yeah, I'm getting a seafood pizza." I'm like, "Seafood on pizza?" Like, I don't know. That kind of made my stomach turn. I'm like, "That's a lot going on right there for me."
You want like a more classic, like
Yeah.
regular pizza. But I
Yeah.
had this pizza. It was down in like the Richmond, Virginia area. I forget what the place was called, but they had this Chesapeake like crab pizza. I think it was like a deep dish pizza, and it had like Maryland like crab all of. Oh my god, it was so good. I still think about that pizza, and I wish I were having some right now. To be honest with you, it was like some of the best pizza I ever had.
So going to Rod about seafood pizza, I spoke briefly about Frank Pepe's in New Haven before, and the pizza that they are known for is actually a white clam and bacon pizza, and it is the best pizza I have ever had.
The expression on your face right now, Rod, is
I'm trying
I'm,
to. I'm
I'm
trying to
assuming you
visualize.
would not try that.
And I bring my friends up, and of course I say like we have to go to this pizza place because it has been ranked the best pizza place in the country. And I say think of all the pizza places in the country, and this is ranked #1. And I say you have to try the white clam pizza, and they say white clam on a pizza, like, you just have to try it. And it's consistently the best pizza that I've had. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I want to try it. I'm gonna have to like take a road trip and go get this pizza. It sounds awesome.
It's great. It does not disappoint.
Yeah, I definitely. I missed. I had the chance to visit New York before the pandemic started, and I was definitely going to try the New York slice pizza they always talk about because it's just it's one of the things you probably have to try. Just say okay, I tried it. But I know for the South we care a lot about chicken finger places, and I know at least back home the biggest debate that we have this place called Fusakli's, and it's kind of a mom and pop type chicken spot, but it's slowly expanding. But they rival with Fusakli's, Zaxby's, and Raising Cane's. Personally, I don't like Raising Cane's because I had a bad experience. I ate there, and it was supposed to be a chicken tender, but it had a bone in it.
Oh,
I'm like,
that's not good.
That's not supposed to happen. It's not how it works. So I like Zaxby's, but Fusakli's is kind of like a home place for us. But yeah, we kind of care a lot about chicken finger places, and yeah.
Okay, so it's the chicken fingers in the South, and we have our whole pizza debates up here. But anyway, so I think it would just be. I think this was really fun. I'm glad we had a chance to kind of like have a little taste of what everyone's like region is and talk about promo. So I really appreciate you guys taking a couple of minutes from your day to talk with everyone in the industry, and thank you guys so much for being our interns this summer. It's been great so far.
Thanks for having us. It's been a great opportunity.
Yes.
All right, have a great day, everybody.
Bye, everyone.